First topic on our agenda for the legislative committee for June 5th is approval of our meetings from May 1st. And I'm going to say they're approved.
Noted.
Next up, we have appointments and updates. Appointment to the Downtown Development Authority Committee, Chris Smith. And would you like to say anything, Chris?
Excited to get started. I think it's going to be a unique opportunity. Except my full application there, just a kind of small part of the whole deal. Excited to get my hands dirty, my feet wet. So looking forward to it.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna go ahead and say we can move it to the full body.
Rich, do you want to say anything as president of the DDA?
Well, we welcome Chris. Also, this evening you were going to be with Linda Allen, who had an emergency, so she's not on here.
Oh.
But she's going to be, she's already applied to be reappointed. So where it says there are 3 vacancies, he's the last vacancy. We also have someone else who's applying, so we should be full. So for July, we hope to have 2 candidates for you to meet with them then.
Okay. So Ms. Henderson, she'll be here. So, we'll go ahead and move on. So we're gonna send that to the full body. We'll move on to unfinished business, and we have one update to the agenda. Public safety, Deputy Clark, will be having a discussion on parking.
Now,
Yeah,
okay.
now please.
So it'll probably end up coming through next week's for an ordinance, but currently the ordinance for parking violations is $5, and we've talked about that before. I think some folks at the beach have figured out the issue, and so they'd rather take the $8.50 parking ticket than the actual pay for the day pass. So the ordinance is going to be updated, and that will be on public safety's agenda next week, just for the parking violation for on-street parking from 2 to 6, no parking on the seated areas like in the parks, and then also at the beach, and handicap parking in the city also. So those, you'll see those coming through next week. We just wanted to start, I wanted to get that out there, so in case there was any input that anybody had, they could just shoot back to me through email or anything like that.
Did you mention what the proposal for the new fine would be?
It will, looking at some of the neighboring jurisdictions, it's gonna go from $5 to either 30, 35, or 40. Those are the 3 options we'll present. I see our surrounding jurisdictions, all are within that range, 40 being the highest, 30 being the lowest.
No, in all ways, the objective that people need to understand is the intention. So hopefully it's supposed to prevent people from parking in the areas that they shouldn't, because not to.
Right, exactly. And that's it. That's all I have. If there's any questions or if anybody has anything, just email me.
You'll get that information out, will that information put on water bills, will it be announced?
I know we'll put it on our social media, and then however Mr. Little wants to put it out for the rest of the information. Whatever he chooses to push it that way, but it will get, once it's updated, we'll put it on our social media for to be passed out. So.
Are there any other questions from anyone else? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to new business. First up is resolution approving the honorary naming of Territorial Road from Paw Paw Avenue to 6th Avenue as Little Italy. Need to read this or? Oh, are they? Is anyone here? Oh, come on up.
Okay. Come up there or what?
Right here.
It's been a while since I spoke in public. What's up? My name's J.R. Mamina. I'm the one who submitted the application for the honorary street name of Territorial Road from Pawpaw Avenue going north up to 6th Street with one intermediate sign, I believe at 3rd Street. It doesn't say this on the memo, but that was part of the application.
Do you want to just tell us a little bit about the justification you have listed, if you want to tell us about that?
Well, that area was known as Little Italy back as far back as the 1920s. Many of the immigrants that came from Italy and Sicily, as well as Russia, Germany, Slovakia, Jewish people as well, and they settled in that area. My father, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather lived right there at 405 Territorial, and my aunt as well. So we would like to honor that stretch of the road as honorary street name of Little Italy. It's just on the corner there, vacant lot, there's a historical sign commemorating Little Italy. Actually, it was first known as Little Brooklyn before they changed it to Little Italy. Little Brooklyn was similar to New York because it was a conglomeration of many immigrants, different nationalities and everything back in the 20s. So here I am today trying to get this done.
Do you have any questions? How many blocks is that? How many blocks is that? Territory?
5 maybe.
And they already have a sign there. Where is that sign?
It's a historical sign.
Right, where is that
It's
sign
on,
located?
do you know what a chatterbox is?
Yes,
Kitty corner, there's a vacant lot,
okay,
and that sign, it was dedicated, I think, in,
yeah, I got you.
80s.
So that is gonna be included in that area.
Well, that's part of that stretch, yeah.
And so where would the other sign be located?
One sign it's a street sign on top of Territorial at Pawpaw Avenue before it goes up the hill, going back toward town on 3rd Street in the corner of the top, and then 6th Street. So there'll be
Three.
three
Okay,
signs.
thank you.
I wonder about the 6th Street sign adding to confusion about where people are. The Arts District is generally from 5th to Water Street, as people understand it. Not that I think marking Little Italy is very important, but I wonder if it could be up a block towards
Toward where, which way?
towards 5th Street.
Fifth
At
Street?
5th Street instead, because we can, at some point, we can have signs facing Water Street that mention the Arts District and Little Italy
Well,
virtually the other way. That way,
Fifth Street is up a block, you can't even see the sign from Water Street.
I think what I mean is, Water and 6th Street basically run parallel for a period. So that whole square section
Okay,
of
talking about the whole.
downtown right there is known as the Arts District. For
I'm
better,
sorry.
as the Arts District now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind moving up a block towards Pawpaw to make it just a little bit shorter distance, but at that point, people can, I think, better understand, and that's a gateway street to downtown from the north. So if you're not on Pawpaw Avenue, you're coming in on North Shore and 5th Street to the roundabout. And then people who are coming in who want to go north on Main Street often turn onto 5th Street. There's a lot of traffic on 5th Street. So it would really help you.
Confusing, what?
So it really would help you. If I had a map,
I don't exactly what you're saying, I just don't think it would be.
Well, that's,
confusing. I don't think it would be.
but that's where people will see it.
Yeah.
6th Street is 2 blocks. There's only 2 blocks on 6th Street anyway. So
From Main Street,
there's one here from Wall to Main, and then from Main to Water. So, and it's a dead end on both ends. So for you to be seen, and for people to understand that it exists, it would be better for you to be at Fifth Street and Territorial, because that's where the people are who would be seeing your place and directed towards you versus the other direction away from you.
I kind of follow it. The reason behind the naming of the Sixth Street is my father, who grew up in the area. He wrote a lot of memoirs, memories. And it's right there in his handwriting from Sixth Street to Papa Avenue. You know, that, it's not just that street, it's everything surrounding that street. It's the whole area.
No,
So the area you're talking about used to be Little Italy. Right there.
Okay, well, it's just my suggestion.
Yeah.
To make it more effective and to help with confusion, directing people downtown. That's something that we do at the Welcome Center. So it'd be nice to know.
Were there any other comments or questions regarding,
Yeah, I have one.
Mr. Duncan?
Why now?
Why now what?
Why now are you coming after all these years again to do this or put more highlights on?
For Little Italy?
That's correct.
Well, I grew up in Benton Harbor, but I was gone for 35 years up at Grand Rapids. So I couldn't do it as well. Then I came back, and I was going to do this 12 years ago. However, I did not live in the city of Benton Harbor, which you have to either live there or own property to do so. And I didn't know the people that have signed this or anything at that time, because I just moved back. So I just decided to come back up with it and try it again. Hopefully that answers your question.
So I'm gonna move that we move it to the full body.
This is something that still, the full commission still has to vote on that, so it'll go before the
June,
full commission on
June 17th.
June 17th.
Okay, so it'll go before the commission on
Full
June
commission on June
17th.
17th.
Okay,
All right, thank you very much.
you're welcome.
All right, next we have approval of Gene Clark Park concession agreement.
Where is the city manager?
So, the city manager is actually out of town today. But if you look in your packet, there's a article in the very back, the very last page in your packet that came from the city attorney. This is just suggested edits to both the concession stand agreements, basically outlining the termination language that we're recommending that we put into these agreements before sending it to the full body. Item D, the third coast already has that in it, so it will align all three of those together.
Oh, so they'll all have the same.
So they will all have the
language in
same
there.
language as far as the termination goes and the 30 days.
So was there, an application process that, went out? How were vendors selected, for this? How?
This was a conversation that the assistant city manager had with these chosen individuals. We did not put out like an RFP or RFQ for that.
So I love the organization. I love, I wouldn't care, about it, but we always talk about processes and giving people a fair opportunity. And I would recommend that this goes back, even though we need to, because it really should have gone through that process to give people an opportunity to bid on that. Because there's people that have said, hey, that have known about this, we really need to do this the right way. It's still early in the season, and so we still have time. Parks and Recs is next month, so this could actually go they put something out next week, but I cannot support moving this forward because it has not gone through that process. We need to make everybody follow that process.
I will note that and, speak with the city manager tomorrow.
Even agree with sending this forward, not because I have anything against any organization, love them, but I cannot agree with this. We really don't, go ahead. Because I don't want to open up a can of worms. If this is going to go back, then that discussion can happen.
It's a can of worms.
No, I'm talking to the commissioner. We are having a conversation. Commissioner, Aaron, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, process is key. Transparency and inclusion. You use those keywords that other people like to use. So inclusion is one of them, and being transparent. And I know there's a time frame for it, but we should not get into this like this. We should have some And do we know this entity?
Just not to get into, I don't want to get, because I don't know what their processes or thinking is. I don't want to put any emotions or feelings that was made against us. We just sit back.
No, I'm just asking, do we know this entity that we're doing the agreement with?
They're listed.
We know, yeah, they're on here.
We see their names, but I'm asking, do we know that person? Do we know this company? Do we know anything about it?
So President Pillars.
Yeah,
James
Mr.
Gunther.
huh?
Mr. James Gunther.
Oh, that's James Gunther. Oh, okay. Well, it still doesn't, okay.
And that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I understand, but I just think we just need to follow the process, put it out for bid, and then go from there, because that way it removes any taint from his organization and the other organizations who would possibly be there. It's just not okay.
Is that the same, contract will be with the baseball, Union Field?
Yeah, so they're the exact same.
They already playing, I think they
Mhm.
using it already.
Mhm.
The concession stand for the baseball. I think it's in operation already, so
Oh, really?
I think so.
And is this under the same agreement that one is, or is two?
It's two different
Two
companies.
different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we get some clarity.
Okay, so I think that this is gonna go back and be bid out, so we can move on.
Yep, we can put it out for bid and we can present it at the Economic Development and Parks Committee
Yes,
meeting.
that would be-
Okay. So we're gonna move on to C.
Excuse me,
I'm sorry, Mr. Duncan. You have the floor?
it's like a wrestling match when I come in here, because you guys don't give me a chance.
I didn't
And
see you,
know what,
Mr.
and
Duncan.
I'm not talking about you right now, but I am talking about y'all up there. So, make a debate every time I come in here about anything with it. When I speak out or whether I don't speak out, you got something that you gotta put down about. And I asked you guys about that earlier. Now, this is something that the whole town is asked about. But here it is, that could have easily have been okayed by you guys, because I've seen all of that happen before too. You're going about it the right way now. But before that, the city manager's not here, the assistant city manager's not here, and it's like, give you guys the stick so we can beat y'all with. They need to be here anytime there's something this important coming across, even the naming of the streets, all of that, they should be right here. You know, where they can have their input, they can listen to the citizens' input. And not just go on like it's always been in here, where you guys make all the decisions and the citizens get overlooked or slammed in one way or another. I had more to say, but every time I get interrupted, then my problem stays a problem until 2 weeks later. That's why I try to get what I have to say across, my point across, without any damn interruption. Thank you for hearing that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Duncan. So the next thing on our agenda is similar to Union Park concession agreement, and I think we can follow the same. We can get a bid put out. Any,
I have a question. Is this the paddle boat?
Not C.
we're on C right now.
No, see,
B and C pretty much go
Same,
hand in
I
hand,
was just
so,
saying
yeah.
the same thing. Okay, so if there's no further comments.
One
Go
question,
ahead.
this is a major corporation coming to take,
So the final one on here is the approval of Third Coast Surf Shop Agreement.
And yes, that is the paddleboard shop. And included is the last agreement that they signed. So you can see if there was any differences, which I don't think. I think the difference was the rent. But I believe that they're pretty similar.
So in this case, I mean, I don't know if there are any other local options here. I don't know if anyone can chime in, but is it worth a bid on this one, or are they pretty much the monopoly?
Well, I do know that they've held the contract since 2014.
Okay.
It's just been renewed every 5 years.
Commissioner.
yes, this is the one that was done some time ago. And they have broken the consent judgment over and over and over and over again since they got it. So some things we cannot do in Gene Clark Park because of the consent judgment. And one of them is signs, permanent signs. If you go back to the consent judgment, it says in it explicitly, no, you can't do that in Gene Clark Park. And this is the first time I got a chance to look at this right now. The base amount that they're paying the city has not improved, has not changed since 2000. That's not the way it's supposed to be. This is America. It don't happen like that, I don't think. So if this has not been negotiated and looked at to make sure that they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and they're compensating the city for the huge amount of money that they're making. Thank you.
The signage issue is addressed in, under fixtures, permanent fixtures, so the attorney did address that issue under the new language.
And that's another problem. The attorney gives us her opinion and won't even put her name or a date on it. I have a problem with that because I don't even believe she wrote it. Now, if you can address that, Chair, because that's not she cannot change the consent judgment. I don't know who she thinks she is to even give us a opinion and don't give us a date or a name on it. And she can't change the judgment. She can't change what the judge said. So, and if she don't have the information, she needs to be able to read up on it, what the consent judgment said. I'm gonna go through this again and look real closely as to what the last agreement said.
Does anyone have any, a confirmation or any knowledge about if this base fee has been the same for 10 years?
So it looks like in the last contract, the base fee is 5,000. This one that's being proposed in this contract is 6,500. With the last contract being 8% and this contract being 18%.
So then that sounds
Oh, wait a minute.
like inflation, Mr. Duncan.
Sounds like we need to raise our rates, because when millions and millions of dollars are being made, and we make the kibbles and bits, we talked about it before. This kibbles and bits, and then it comes slow. Too slow.
And it's wonderful, I see they're giving the Benton Harbor people a little break.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, can you repeat that? I didn't hear that comment.
I say number 7, they're giving Benton Harbor residents, and city employees a little break. And that is a good thing. So,
So I would say based on the improvement in what they're paying and based on them giving a discounted rate, I would say move it to the full body.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Mr. Duncan?
This mitigated property that we were supposed to been switching over to contaminated land, has that problem been solved?
Voted on it on
I'm asking, has the problem been solved?
You mean the cleanup for the property?
I'm not talking about
Agar, you're not talking about Agar?
I'm not talking about it. I'm asking about the mitigated property that was switched.
oh, the dialysis,
Yeah.
no. It has not been solved.
Is there any other questions or comments about this particular item?
You know, we're gonna discuss this a little bit
Yeah,
more.
we'll
So
discuss it.
I just got this in my hand today, so we're gonna discuss this a little bit more. I hate to do it on the floor.
If you have some additional comments for tonight, Commissioner?
I'm sure, I'm looking at this right now, but I'm gonna go back to my consent judgment, because I'm not gonna allow anyone to even change one word of this consent judgment.
So I didn't realize you're third coast. Do you want to comment or?
And,
Oh, you not?
You sure?
Okay, sorry.
Who is he?
He's not.
It's just talk.
I do know Brian.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Just like that.
Okay. So, any other comments?
Can we check and see if there's a permit offered to this company? Does he get a business? Does he pay anything other than out of his income that he makes? We need to know more about what happened when they did this one, because I was there. And I bet you I voted no, because they didn't do it the right way. So now's the time for us to go back and look at what really happened in 2016 or whatever.
14.
I don't like the fact that we went and didn't give anyone else the opportunity to do anything, but he's been there for a long time. He's making good money. He's got a good clientele. He just needs to pay us more. Thank you.
I'm gonna just confirm that we're gonna move this forward to the full commission. And next up, we have public comments, if there's any. Okay, Commissioner Kennard.
Yes, as elected official, I was thinking that it is up to us to try to make things as transparent and as clear as our residents can have. And I was thinking on each water bill that goes out, or whatever ward that person is in, could it be stamped on so that they will know their award? A lot of them don't even know what there is. So I think that it would be simple for that to be stamped on their water bill. First, second, third, or fourth award. And it wouldn't take any extra paperwork, just stamp that on whatever award stamp.
I think that probably is considered extra printing because you're changing that press to say the first award, third award, and that could be a difference of, I'm not sure, but it's, they have to create a different, separate template. It seems simple in what the ask is, but the cost, would that be rolled over to the citizens, would that go into the bill, would the city cover that cost? And at this point, we're trying to get the waters caught up. So I'm not sure how that's, I don't think that's a bad idea. And that's not something I can answer because I know there's a company that is printing those bills or messing them up.
Would you, Chair, would you ask staff
That's
to
a great
present to us?
Yeah, I can get with them. My first thought is all the addresses would have to be broken up separately. So it would probably be 4 different printing costs because they would have to be printed in separate batches is my first thought. So I don't know what the cost would be to be able to do that, but everything, all the addresses would have to be separated.
You'd also have to identify all of the addresses in each ward in order to be able to then
Right.
come up with a master list.
Right, and there's no database in Vietnam.
I mean, there is as far as voting, but that doesn't mean that every address is going to be included.
It's not, and sometimes it's not correct, because I got that list and I wasn't even on the second word. But I would definitely not want to have the residents incur anything, any additional cost, impossible.
What I'm saying is, if we, as elected officials, should find a way to make it convenient that each and every resident knows their ward. It's got to be some answer. And that's where we can put our heads together and have a clear answer for their ward. Because some people are just not up on, the include. Right.
I think some people because a lot of people know where they go to vote. So they recognize
A lot of
more.
people, some don't, that's what I'm trying to say. Well, make it clear if they need the answer for that, that it's somewhere in their building or somewhere that there's, that it can be known that.
We have the award maps that we can make more available. We can put it on our website. Put a list of papers saying these are addresses and if you live on these particular streets. I mean, there are ways to do it.
Yeah, but when it comes to website technology, it's not something a lot of us are familiar with. Because I'm not up on where I should be with technology. But young, brilliant minds have it all. So I just want to let you know, we don't all have it all.
All that going. That was something definitely wrong.
Commissioner Henry.
I have to say that that's another reason why we need a newsletter, because that information would go out to every household in Benton Harbor. And I hear commissioners speak with me about this project, and they said that $40,000 was too much to pay for 3 to 4 times a month to go out with special information to every household in the city. Twofold. If Benton Spirit is the catalyst of that newsletter, now they are a circulated paper, and we're allowed to do our announcements in the Benton Spirit, and we're gonna save a lot of money from what we're using with the Herald Palladium, who only has a 1% of Benton Harbor residents to read and buy their paper.
My only question would be, from my understanding, Biddy Spirit is just at certain locations, and the resident would have to go pick one up, but.
Listen to what I'm saying. A door-to-door mailing to every household in Benton Harbor with a special page bigger than the Benton Spirit with our information on it, 3 to 4 times a month, 3 to 4 pages. So that's another reason why we need a communication line open, because it's not working online. I mean, our website is getting better, but I can't go in there and maneuver around like I would like to be. And I know there's a lot of other people who are in the same thing. So I want to put it back on the agenda to talk about it. And it could come out of your agenda.
Tiffany, my question for you is, who would be the one that would get that pricing info? Because we could talk about it and talk about it.
So we actually have it. This has been an item in the communications committee. So it has been discussed in communications.
Would you like to put it on your agenda for next month? And
I think if it can go on the communications agenda, and then I would say with that reminder, that price, because that would be what people would have to discuss.
Well, I beg your pardon, because I have a co-chair and no other commissioner ever come to my committee once in a while commissioning. So I don't see, and when I go on YouTube, I don't see you, I don't see them on there. So I'm asking to come to another committee. I'm gonna do some resident come in and ask to get more information about it. But when I get stonewalled because of someone's ego, that makes it hard for the residents, because if you hear that 40,000 is too much, but you gotta see the benefits of it.
So what I would say is put it in the correct committee, but can you, when we do our commission meeting comments, can you list it there? Because when I do watch on YouTube, I always watch later. I normally don't watch it live. So I'm saying, if we put it in a communication committee, can you then, you know how we get 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes to talk at the Monday meeting? Can you bring that up? Can the commissioners please come to this particular meeting? We're going to discuss the newsletter. Because if you specifically say that ahead of time, I think you get more of I know for sure I'll come.
Well, you'll come, but you won in 8. So no, I'm trying to get it on a committee. Another committee. It's been through hoops and hoops. But like I said, egos got in my way, and they won't let it go past that because of the perception that it's too much money. And I can prove to them through numbers don't lie, people do, that we can save a lot of money and do a lot of good if we had a newsletter that went to every household in Benton Harbor.
So I'm gonna let Commissioner Kennard.
Thank you.
Comment.
I agree with her. It's most important for our community to get information. And the value of information is priceless. So I do think that is one, but I want to ask you, are you all considering at least what I mentioned are you saying that it would be brought up on what is that, the next meeting? On the 3rd of July?
You mean the stamp on a water bill?
If
So
there's anything that would be discussed.
I think that what has to happen is, Clerk, were you gonna find out the price of that?
Well, I can get with the department that can look
Yeah,
into
so
that.
we can get the information first.
So if you
To
check
see if
out the
it's
price of
even
it, if it's anything
plausible to be
equal.
done.
But if not, like I said, communication is most important.
So,
However it's done, I just would like.
so let's think about the follow-up. So the clerk says she'll, number one, find out if it's possible. If it is possible, we'll get the price. So the question I think you have is what committee? that would be, the appropriate committee for that.
If we're talking about price point, probably personnel and finance.
So then, so when you get the info, we will put it on that agenda.
Again,
Well, I mean, it has to be in the right committee.
Yes,
We don't want to just randomly put things, because remember that happened and nobody was happy. So
no,
let's try to keep it in the
that was an
correct,
ego trip too.
correct
Cause
committee.
it works. I've been on committees that we talked about everything and got business done. So if you gotta wait for 1 month, 2 months, and you go from one committee to another and you never get anything done, that shows me there's dysfunctional. Now, how many times have I been to his committee with the same project? I've never been to yours, that's why I'm asking.
Commissioner Iceland, did you want to comment on the personal and finance piece?
Yes, you talking about the newsletter?
Well, we were talking about, Commissioner Kennard had,
With the stamp,
yes.
yes,
Mhm.
let, staff do their due diligence, and then we can take it from there.
How long have we talked about
She just talked,
that dollar
she talked about
that's
the
been put
stamp.
on that
Wait a minute,
bill?
she
this is the first time I've heard.
talked about the stamp.
I know she talking about the stamp, but go back to the dollar.
The dollar,
been put on
was an
everybody's
internal that, yeah.
And we've talked to this company, we've had this company forever. They refuse to lower their fee. We need to go to another company and get some better deals. We should not just keep going to the same people, especially when they see they're not cooperating or wanna work with us.
And you're talking about the people who print the water bill?
Yes,
Yes. What is-
Okay, can I
I know.
think,
Yes.
citizen
It's
from
not yes.
Montana, maybe,
Oh, it's not-
would like to speak.
I just have a quick question. You're gonna take the honorary street name to the full commission on the 17th of June?
Yes,
Yes.
Will I receive notice about that?
yes.
Just email and everything.
Clerk.
That's all I needed. Thank you.
You got it.
Sorry, concerns.
But with the newsletter, now that it's budget time, right? So maybe could look at the budget.
I've been looking
I
at the,
know.
you said we were gonna amend the budget in July of last year, and we haven't touched it yet. Commissioner, don't make me go there, please.
Don't go there then, don't go there.
I asked God to stop me from cussing. You finna get cussed out, that's what you finna get. You tell me what I need to do.
We're trying to get the newsletter. That's what
No,
I'm.
you ain't trying, cause you ain't coming to no committee.
Okay, point of order.
Thank
You ain't
You should be
sitting in your
happy
committee.
because it's almost farmer's market time.
Yeah, we're gonna get this resolved. Thank you so much.
He said that you better be scared. That's what-
Trust the process.
Now, this-
So
over
just
a
to
year?
sum it up real quick, so, when the clerk gets the information, we'll bring it to the Personnel and Finance Committee for the stamp on the water bill. And then for the newsletter, although she's not paying attention, that's gonna be in the communication committee.
Point of order.
So this here is what committee?
So once the clerk gets that information, if it's possible and how much it will be in a Personnel and Finance Committee, Commissioner Iceland's committee. Okay. So, any other public comments before we adjourn? Oh,
I just want to make a quick note that next week is Public Safety and Public Works Committee, but the following week, due to Juneteenth, Personnel and Finance is getting moved up a week. So they're actually going to meet following the Public Safety and Public Works Committee next Wednesday.
On the
So it'll be a double committee next Wednesday.
okay.
You ain't gonna
Miss-
get no budget. Not if
Mr.
it's a
Duncan?
long meeting.
Point of order, please. Mr. Duncan has the floor.
Thanks, I've never had anybody do that for me before.
Six pack.
I want to say it Monday at the meeting, but when our grass is tall, we get,
tickets. Yeah.
tickets, those tickets, those not tickets, those are
Violations?
violation
Signs.
signs on
Yeah.
it. I want you guys to put one out here in the front,
A lot of them.
because Monday, I guess y'all didn't see it, y'all ain't paying no attention, but the grass in the front is getting higher and higher every time we come in here. you guys are really dogging the citizens when it comes to cutting weeds, because weeds grow every time it rains. So if we don't take care of it, you guys give us a $200 ticket. You'll come out right after the rain and cut the grass and then give us a $200 ticket. Nobody gives you guys anything, but we have to come and look at the grass messed up. We have to come and look at the driveway messed up. Look how long we did that. I just want you guys to do something the citizens asking you to do. It took too long to do the driveway. And it's taking too long to take care of the little grass, the little weeds out in the front. A weed whacker in 5 minutes to take that down. We don't have to look like that. That's what I said, looking ghetto.
So my comment would be, of course, we don't have anyone from the ordinance team here. However, what I remember Mr. Little saying on Monday was due to the rain, they're trying to catch up.
It rains for us too.
I understand. I'm not finished with my comment. So that's the first piece. The second piece is, from my understanding, you should get a warning sign first without a $200 ticket. They should give you a warning
They
sign.
do. I said that already.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, if you have an issue where you cannot cut your grass in that amount of time, you should be able to call and say whatever the issue is, and then they can give you an extension.
If you
So-
get somebody to answer the phone.
Okay.
See, there's too many ifs, ands, and buts about this. That's what my grandmother used to say. There's too many ifs, ands, and buts about something. Somebody is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. There's no reason for our driveway to look the way it did as long as it did. There's no reason for our grass not to be weed whacked. What is a weed whack? 15 minutes, you do the whole front end of this place and around it too.
So what I can do is take that back to Mr. Little.
That's what I'm asking you to, I guess that's what I'm asking you to do. Since I don't have anybody else.
No,
Because
that's
as we
what
know,
I'm-
I can't, I mean, I don't have the authority to, I can't
know
solve
how
the grass
much
problem,
authority
but
you got,
Mr.
sister.
Little can talk to the people who are hired and get it taken care of.
The clerk can talk to Mr. Little, because Mr. Little ain't here.
Noted.
And that's,
Okay.
I'm saying these things because I got a real concern. You guys have got a bad idea of me. I don't know what you, but I'm the one just to mistreat any way you want to, talk to any way you want to. I'm not gonna be upset with you. I'm gonna keep coming here trying to get things done that the citizens will be able to enjoy. I don't wanna walk in here and see grass, and it ain't really that high, but they need to take care of it. It's been 3 days.
Okay, so the clerk is saying she's gonna follow up with Mr. Little, and you have a misconception. We appreciate you coming and being a concerned citizen.
That's what you say, and I'll take what you say, but the rest of you guys don't feel that way, and I know it, so. You're on the record as being the one saying you understand.
Okay, Ms. Kennard.
Yes, and, I agree with it totally. The thing that I've noticed in driving through the city, and it needs to be whoever gets the message is called, because I brought it up on Monday night. And he said because of the rain. Well, it rains and my lawn is cut and other lawns are cut. But then they got supposed to have city workers to keep the cemetery. And then all of the city's vacant lots are taller than me. So they haven't been cut recently. That's been quite some time since they've been. The street sweeper is not going down the street. I know it's a lot of construction, but go in the areas that are not under construction and clean those streets. That equipment is sitting there and it's gonna rust out, just sitting there because they don't have a crew. Why buy the machinery if you don't have a crew? So I'm disappointed with that. So if you can carry that on, Tiffany.
Noted.
Before you shut down, could I ask one thing too?
Yes, Mr. Duncan?
All these vacant lots, a lot of houses too, but don't have addresses on. This is something else that I've asked about and kind of got looked over, dismissed or whatever you want to call it, because it hasn't been anything done. But all empty lots as well should have a address painted on the driveway, a sign or anything to address what that address is. Because if I send somebody out to cut the lawn, I don't want them cutting the lawn next to it thinking it's mine. So I'm putting, that's what I was gonna ask, if I can put an address on my curb side, but I think that's illegal. That's why I'm asking that you guys make sure all these empty lots and houses have addresses for emergency. It should be an emergency thing, you know. So if you didn't just do that, can you help, Commissioner?
I will help.
See, he helps.
Try.
He got us some porta potties at the river. We paid for him, where he went somewhere and got them. And that's all I'm asking all of you guys to do. You guys want to think of me as a problem, and I can be. So you got the right to feel that way. But I'm trying to get some things done before I leave here, that my kids and grandkids didn't get a chance to enjoy. Or not get a chance to enjoy like I did the dunes at James Clark Park as a kid. That was stolen away from our families.
Okay.
Okay, so the vacant lots, we'll have to follow up on that as well, because I don't know the answer unless you happen to know, Tiffany.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I did note that as a discussion item.
There are addresses to each one of those.
There's an ordinance for that. But please do not send anybody, any resident to Barron County courthouse because they don't have the right number on their house. Please do not do that. It is devastating to you to go to Barron County for anything. There's an ordinance that says the house has to have a number on it where any person has to see it. But please do not send our people to Barron County courthouse for some small infractions like that, because it's devastating. They rape us. I know you don't, because you one of them up there. You don't even think about being hungry down here.
No,
I'm talking about hungry people. 47% of our people are below poverty. What does that say to you? So that's all I'm saying. And I'll say it again. You show compassion for our people. And if you're a good Christian and you read the Bible or you read the Quran or you read the Buddha or whatever it is, they all say the same thing. To take care of the vulnerable, the sick, and the homeless.
Commissioner, my question is, are you saying that our police department are writing tickets based on not having numbers shown? Because I have not heard of that.
If
You're saying don't send them to the county, but where's this coming from? Who's sending them to the county?
If anybody gets a ticket, you go to the county.
Yes, but for numbers not being visible in their home?
Well, no, he wants to change it, and I'm saying there's an ordinance already. So if there's an ordinance already, there's some rules that could be being broken right now. And don't send them, find some way to address it. If we don't do nothing but take some money out of community block grant money, pay some young people to stencil it on the curb side. We got more curbs now than we ever had in Ben Arbor.
It was doing that.
No,
They did that about 20 years ago, and that's all gone.
Okay, Mr. Henson.
So I was wondering, I know since we are in the legislative, you were taking a look at some of those ordinances that were nuisance ordinances, like this particular one that we're talking about, changing the fines and fee structure in order to address the concern of what happens if people are vulnerable to, one more financial catastrophe. Do you know if this was one of the ordinances that was changed, or part of one of the ordinances?
Not to my recollection.
Because you just changed a number of them this, earlier in the spring, I thought.
Yeah, but
So it wasn't, so is there a way to get it on an agenda to take a look at? Because you have a point, we do need to see the numbers, but we don't want anyone going to jail, paying a fine, because the numbers aren't there.
That's right. That's what I would ask. Since I brought it up, I would ask that you don't touch our people about that in any kind of a way.
Well, we took the numbers off the street signs.
Yeah,
Those of
we
you
did.
who've been here long enough know that all of the street signs were marked with the block number for each block. So you knew if you were in the 100 block or the 200 block.
Right.
So now people, when you call for assistance, people don't know where you are.
Not no area.
And even if you describe where the intersection is, sometimes they don't know relative to the intersections.
Right.
So, it is an issue for safety, but if there's a way to make sure that the ordinance does not unnecessarily penalize anyone, that would be great.
I just think that the kids could do it. It was a great, commissioner just told me he saw some kids on Empire doing it.
Years ago, yeah.
Oh, a couple of years ago, so.
They've done it, yeah, they've gone down.
Yeah, I think that's all.
But they didn't go up here on Bronson Hill?
Okay,
No, but also there was a charge.
Oh, yeah.
okay, so we're gonna have point of order, I'll just kind of recap. So Mr. Duncan brought up having some kind of number, the house number, possibly on the curb. The suggestion would be we have the youth working this summer. Is that an option? So we can find that out from Mr. Little. Is there anything else that I may have? Oh, the ordinance, and revisit the ordinance.
Thank you.
So I think that's of it. Tiffany, is that something that you will look into as well? Okay, so if there's no other comments, we're gonna adjourn our meeting. Thank you everyone for attending.
Thank
You getting better and better.
You know, that means a lot coming from you, but you're on tough cookie.
I know.